sound. Now if we come over to the left hand side of the RD2000, you'll see that there's a whole range of knobs here which are all assignable to different functions. Now there are some preset functions that they're assigned to, and they can also be assigned to any user functions you want. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you the effect you can get using the EQ, or graphic equalizer. Now this is something I use a lot when I'm on stage, especially if you're playing with other players in a band. If you want the piano sound to cut through, what I tend to do is I like to add a bit of high gain to the EQ, so it brightens the sound up a little bit, certainly at the top end. So let's take a listen to that. If I just add a little bit of gain to the high end of the EQ. And you can also add some bass to your piano sound as well to give it a little bit more oomph, if you like. So there you see you can get quite a change or contrast in the tone just using the EQ, and it's all very easy to get to with these knobs here. Also, these assignable knobs can be used to control the amount of effects that are applied to a sound. So the RD2000 has got lots and lots of different effects in it, some of which I'll come to later when we look at some of the other sounds. But just a good basic effect for your piano sound is the reverb. So if we just take a listen to the reverb effect, and let's add a little bit more reverb to the sound. There we go, and we can also increase the reverb time as well. So there, that's just working with the basic stage grand sound that is the first preset piano sound when you switch the RD2000 on. So let's take a look at some of the other piano sounds. This next one, this is more of a classical piano sound, and it's called Symphony Hall. So as we look along the right hand side of the RD2000, you've got your different sound select buttons. So I'm going to choose the first of the electric piano sounds. Now this is in the vintage EP section, and this is a sort of recreation of a Fender Rhodes sound. And again, using the effect controls on the left-hand side, I'm going to switch on the amp simulator, and I'm going to increase the amount of overdrive there is on the amp, so to give you this kind of distorted Fender Rhodes effect. Now on the far left we have the modulation effects button, and that is preset with a sound that will work nicely with the tone you've chosen. You can change the effect, but on the electric piano sound it gives you a nice sort of phaser. So if we take a listen to that. Now I'm going to add some tremolo to the electric piano sound. So again, as you can see, I've only used one electric piano sound, but using the effects, there's a lot of control. You can create a lot of variation with the voice. So I think that's great. Having all this hands-on control here just makes it a really nice instrument for live use as well. Because when you're gigging, you're out playing, you can alter the sound without having to go in lots of menus and things. Everything's to hand here, which is great. I'm going to go to the modern electric piano section now, and the first sound that comes up is actually a sound called RD1000 Piano 1. Now back in, I think it was 1986, Roland launched the RD1000 piano, and it had a really distinctive piano sound. It was using some technology that Roland had called SAS, and it was kind of part sampled and part synthetic piano sound. Now the famous performers still use the sound from the RD1000 on stage, and it was all through the 90s and certainly early 2000s. The RD1000 was the preferred electric piano sound of Elton John. So if we just take a listen to the RD1000 voice, you'll recognise it for its sort of distinctive characteristics. So it's a piano sound with real bite to it, the RD1000 sound. Now, the RD2000 has got all of the preset voices from the RD1000, and they've also recreated the same effects as well. So the tremolo and chorus effect that was in the RD1000 has been faithfully recreated in the RD2000. So if we take a listen to the RD1000 electronic piano sound, take a listen to this. And now we're going to add the preset modulation effect, which gives it a bit of chorus as well. So we have played the same piece using the chorus effect as well. So it's a really nice, warm electric piano sound, great for ballads. So I've hardly scratched the surface of the piano tones in the RD2000, but it just gives you a flavour of what's there and how much control you've got over it, which I think is excellent. Let's step through to the next sound bank now, which is the clav sound. So we're going to take a listen to this now. The first clav that comes up is called clav CB. So let's have a listen to that, just without any effects on to start off with. And now I'm going to switch on the modulation effects, which gives it some phasing. So really good sort of funky clav sound there. There are also some other preset clav sounds, and there's a clav with a wah on it as well. So let's take a listen to that. Another important sound, if you're a gigging musician, tends to be the organ sound. Now, the RD2000 has got what we call tone wheel organ sound, so it's a recreation of the Hammond sort of B3, C3 type instrument, and the sliders here can all be used to control the drawbars. So you can, and there is a tremolo effect built in, or a Leslie speaker effect, and you can use the amp simulator to give you a bit of overdrive. So you can get a really good recreation of a Hammond organ sound as well. And as we step through the voices, let's just take a listen to the string sound on its own. This is a nice slow attack strings, which is good for layering with a piano sound, which I'll show you in a little while. And there are some nice synth pad sounds as well, which are good. So again, using the controllers on the left here, I can alter the filter cutoff frequency as well in real time whilst you're playing. So let's just take a listen to the synth pad with changing the filters as well. And the RD2000 features lots and lots of voices. There you've got brass sounds, you've got solo woodwind sounds, and there are also some very good synth leads. So let's take a look at the synth lead. And again, using the real-time controllers to control the cutoff and resonance of the synth lead sound. So the next section I'd like to take a look at is this section in the middle here, which is all the sliders and the buttons above. Now, the previous Roland instruments have usually had 4 parts that you can layer together. I really like the RD2000 because you've got real-time control over 8 parts here. And you can layer up to 8 voices together here and alter the volumes of them all. You can turn parts off independently. So what I've taken here is, let's just have let's go back to the original piano sound again. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to layer that piano sound with an FM electronic piano sound. So let's take a listen to that. And let's add some strings as well. And finally, let's add sort of a nice synth, sort of twinkly bell type sound as well. So as you can hear, that's a real sort of 80s electric piano sound, but very, very powerful. And you've got control over that sound using these sliders and buttons here. You can split the keyboard wherever you like, and sounds can be layered across the whole keyboard. They can be split into various sections of the keyboard. So it's a very flexible, powerful instrument for live use. Very good, I would imagine, also if you're in a pit orchestra and you need to assign different sounds to different areas of the keyboard for sound effects and things. Very, very good for that. Let's take a look at a keyboard split I've set up here. So I've got a bass sound in my left hand and I've got a piano layer in my right hand. So let's just take a little listen to that. And then we'll look at the far right of the RD2000 now, and there's actually a rhythm machine built in as well. So for practice purposes, this is great because you can add in a drummer to your practice, and it just makes it a bit more fun when you're practicing at home. And I imagine that could also be used for live use as well. So other things that I love about the RD2000 is that you've got lots and lots of hands-on control. You've got dedicated transpose button, you've got dedicated buttons for key touch and also for assigning the range of the splits as well, so it's very, very simple to use. You can store your layers of sounds and your splits and things. They call it a program. Very, very easy to do that as well. You've got, as well as having the classic Roland joystick configuration on the left here, which is for the pitch bend and modulation, you've also got pitch bend and mod wheels as well, which again are assignable, which is really good. And if we look at the connections on the back of the RD2000, it really is excellent because you've got proper balanced XLR outputs as well as unbalanced jack outs as well. You've actually got 6 different outputs here, which is great. There's an audio input on the back as well, and then there are 4 pedal controller inputs, traditional 5-pin MIDI sockets, and USB to go direct to a computer, as well as the ability to plug in memory storage such as a memory stick. So all in all, the RD2000 is a great product. I'd invite you to come down and try it in our stores. Well worth having a play. Certainly if you're looking at investing in a keyboard of this kind of money, best to come and have a play first. So come down to either one of our stores or give us a phone call if you want to talk about stage pianos. We can point you in the right direction. But I hope to see you in one of our stores soon. Thanks very much for watching.